Oh, huh. There we go. I guess I had hit the mute button when I was setting it up. Thank you for letting me know. So welcome. Please let me know if you can hear me now. Hopefully you can, because I unmuted. So thank you for tuning in. Wonderful. It is much warmer today, so really excited. I mean, it's still cold in here, but man, is it bearable. It's so different. Yesterday and the day before were just unbelievably unbearable. So really grateful to be here. Becca, if you don't mind letting me know if you can hear this. Let me know if that sounds good. If you can't really hear it that much, I might set it up on the other stand so that I can, so that you can hear it a little bit better. Welcome, Mina. Okay, good. Thank you, Becca. Well, good. I'm glad that you guys are able to jump in for a little while. So I'm going to, let me change the community moderation for chat. So for those that are here, thank you for joining. I will be shifting the chat to subscribers, just simply because it just keeps everything, a little bit easier to respond to. It also keeps out some of the chaos from the chat. So thank you. Choose to hang around anyways. I know sometimes people just drop into lives just because they want to kind of stir some stuff up. So that really just limits that from happening. So thank you for joining. Thank you. So for those that are dropping in, I have it set to where it's subscribers only. You have to be subscribed for at least 10 minutes. And that usually weeds out a lot of people. So I just saw a good big number drop out. So that's usually how that works. Most people just want to drop in and just talk. So this live is a live offering of energy. And, there's a lot happening right now. What you're expressing, Mina. So I've spoken into this in the group space a little bit, but the energies and what's been happening, there's been a lot happening. There has been a lot of transitions taking place, a lot of closing out of certain cycles, opening of new paradigms, opening of new experiences of reality, closing out of previous timelines, as most people know them. And so our energy is shifting from, one simulated collective and then to another simulated collective. And so as that energy is transitioning, there's this space as we're moving where we're probably going to feel like we need a lot more rest, like we want to just curl up and do nothing. And there's nothing wrong with that. One of the things I want to speak into, and I'm going to address what you're reflecting upon as well, Mina, is that, you want to give yourself an opportunity to rest and to rejuvenate, but you don't want to stay in the space. I know a lot of people tend to view, especially like winter time, as this space of not doing much, not moving much, but energy is always in motion and everyone's cycles are different. If we are aware of, let's say, we're operating through a system of beliefs and everyone around us is operating from those same beliefs, because that's how that goes. Our connections are going to directly reflect what we believe, what we think, and what we feel, but in their way, right? How they perceive it. And so we tend to connect to those that we resonate with because they directly reflect something that, well, we agree with. So if we believe a very specific way and we receive that same belief back through those that we connect with, which are also there to reflect back to us that which we believe in their way, then we're always going to be operating from a very specific simulated experience, such as if the collective is moving through something right now, and I believe that if I'm not really maybe sure fully of the way that I'm operating, then I might become susceptible to believing what other people reflect instead of discovering it for myself. And so if you give yourself an opportunity to discover and realize, and really you're recovering parts of yourself moment to moment, because that's how we operate in the flow of energy and the flow of perceived time is moment to moment. What you are aware of right now, what you are perceiving right now is creating. How you perceive is how you create. So if we go into a space where we're resting a lot, then we're not really aware. We're going to be manifesting mostly from that which we were aware of last and what's operating through the subconscious system. Now, it's a beautiful thing. It's wonderful. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if we desire to experience change, we must be in a continual space of change, of movement. We must be willing and able to allow ourselves to be consistently available for ourselves. And if we're always available for others, if we're always busy doing, if we're always caught up in these systems and these beliefs, then we don't really give ourselves an opportunity to experience ourselves. We think we know who we are, but we're also a compilation of our beliefs. You may think a very specific way and believe a very specific way, and therefore you're a byproduct of what you think, you're a byproduct of what you believe. But is that really you? Or is that just a fragment of you that you're operating within? So, I've spoken to quite a few people, and there are those that there's those that are reflecting to me that the energy is very active right now, that it's very busy. That's not how I'm experiencing it, but that's how they're experiencing it. So this also reflects to us, welcome, Greg. This also reflects to us also like just where we're operating. One of the things I reflected to my group space is that the question I posed is, are you most present in your masculine energy right now? Or are you most present in your feminine energy right now? Technically, you're not just in one or the other, but you may be more present and active in one than the other. This is going to happen as we continue to transition and build this rainbow bridge, this energetic rainbow bridge. We're going to notice that we move back and forth like a pendulum. And this gives us an opportunity to address anything and everything that is energetically present in that system of energy. Now, the feminine is the receiver. The masculine is the giver. Okay. So the feminine, being in this space of rest and rejuvenation and feeling really exhausted, that's the feminine. That's going into the space of darkness, basically. It's going into the space of rest. Like we do at night, right? The moon comes out at night. The lunar is representative of the feminine. She is in rest. She's also in active, but she's in rest, and she is upholding everything that has been busy during the day. She is basically bringing everything in and sorting through it. She is the vessel. She is the vessel which holds and supports. However, as we begin to shift, you'll notice, like myself and my group, I'm sure have noticed, is that our connection to our cycles is different. Our connection to the solar cycles, the connection to the lunar cycles, they're shifting. So for me, I don't always feel like resting at night. Sometimes during the day is when I feel like sleeping the most, and I feel most active, more active at night, because that's when my feminine is actually more active in connection with my masculine. Just sharing a few different things, because a lot of times people will maybe feel like something's wrong if these things are coming through for them, and there's nothing wrong. You're just experiencing yourself from different spaces. Now, the energies and what is happening through our body. Mina, you mentioned dizziness, lightheadedness. This is directly correlated to the hormones. Right now, the hormones are shifting. The design through the hormones are shifting. And the way that we energetically connect to these hormones and how the simulation operates in relationship to the hormones is shifting. So the feeling of dizziness and lightheadedness, buzzing, pressure, intense head pressure, definitely sensing that that's connected to the pineal. The pineal has been actively co-creating very intensely. So as we move into this, oh, it's just 12-3-3, 6-3, beautiful. We are going to have some gene expressions that are showing up to assist. And they all stepped forward earlier. Right after I woke up, they stepped forward. So there's a lot that's moving through. Yeah. So, well, you know, the one thing, and also the reason why I felt guided to step into this, is to have the energy, be able to move and to have it move at a larger capacity. Because as you know, as we've been reflecting in the group, we've been a bit sedentary and stagnant. And because we've been a bit sedentary and stagnant, and the way our energy has been, the things that it has been going into, yeah, it's like we need this, and we really, not that we need it, but it's an opportunity, yeah, for us to open this up. Now, I will also reflect that shifting, you know, coming from that space of being very sedentary and having a lot of internal action, a lot of internal references, as I shared in a group, being very hyper aware of these dialogues that have been coming up in relation to my mother. How when I'm in a space of greater balance, the moment that my mind has an opportunity to step in, and the moment that my mind has an opportunity to operate, like when I was in the shower and I was in the space of pause and presence, and I was bringing through some declarations of higher power, the moment that I went to go shave my leg, the mind started the dialogue. And it was so tangible. And it's a reference to how, if we're not aware, and now let's say I just went through my shower and I did not choose to bring a greater state of presence into that space with me, I might not have even really been aware of what was happening as much. You become even more aware of it when you bring your awareness into a space of greater accessibility, where you are choosing to be actively aware of what you are co-creating. So if I'm choosing to co-create with the energies, then I'm aware of myself. I'm even more aware of myself than normal, because everything is right here. So there's a lot of things moving through in relation to the root. There's a lot of upheaval that has been happening through the root. And we're being asked to let go of things. We're being asked to let go of things. For me, I've had opportunities to be in a greater state of balance, but I chose anger. I realized that I chose anger because I felt like it was the only way that I could get something to work. It was the only way I could force the situation to work in the way that I thought it needed to work. So anger was my most powerful point of presenting. You know, if I'm angry, then you're going to know that there's something that you need to hear from me. And this creates a connection of experience. It offers us lessons, yes. But is it really needed and necessary? Oh, wow. Not surprised. I've been energetically, I definitely sensed that this was, you know, we're coming here right now for a reason. So an X flare happening and all of us coming together and gathering makes sense. Especially with the way the energies are feeling. been holding ourselves majority in the in the feminine, at least for me. And now we have that masculine energy coming through with power that's saying, okay, now we're shifting. So, of course, this isn't just because of the sun, it's not just because of the X flare, but it is representative of how the energies are moving. So, now, if you've been majority in the masculine, you may be feeling called to shift more into the feminine. So, just simply be aware, just because it's the sun and it's an X flare, it doesn't mean that the feminine is not as active as the masculine. Yeah, ride the flares. Absolutely. So we are going to be, these magnetic currents are probably going to be even more intense now. So just have that in your awareness. I do feel the pineal is going to be picking up on that. Pineal's already picking up on that. That's probably why you're feeling that way, Mina. And I'm feeling some pressure right there. Just as soon as we start speaking into it, I start feeling it. So one thing, just bringing into your awareness before we get started here, is what is it that's here for you to let go of? What habit, what behavior, how are you operating where like you're always operating in this pattern? So your simulated reality, which is you, your design, which template of you are you able to shift out of? Where can you give yourself more time and more space to operate more efficiently, more fluidly, energetically? And are you maintaining an awareness that allows you to discover yourself? Because this is one thing that I have understood is one of the greatest keys of reclaiming the self is discovering the self, right? You can read books all day long. You can listen to podcasts. You can even hear me talk right now. That's not going to equate to you discovering yourself. You discover yourself while you are fully immersed in your presence, your awareness. You're energetically receiving the words. You hear the words. They're a sign, they're a guidepost, they're a direction. But you are so immersed in your experience that you're not needing to remember what's being said. You're recalling and you're going deeper into the space of you. It's about what is here for you, what is here of you, and how can you discover that? How can you uncover that? How can you discover something of yourself that's different that you've never uncovered? Because when we come into these spaces, into these gatherings, it's not just an activation. It's a space of discovery. There's something here for you. And if you give yourself the permission slip to reclaim that, you will find it. Just like in the last live, the one thing I keep referencing, but was Greg's discovery of coming into that pineal and into the thymus, into that space, right? So a lot of times we access these experiences based on what we believe we're supposed to, right? And not just because that's what we've adopted. We've adopted this belief of how we're supposed to do things. And so when you give yourself an opportunity to shift out of whatever it is you think and whatever it is you believe, and you step into it from a free space of discovery, then it's not even just about not bringing anything with you, but you allow yourself to uncover more of yourself. And there is so much here for you to discover. So much. There is something new here for you every single time. A new sensation, a new feeling, a new deeper understanding of yourself. It's all here. So that's my invitation. Okay. So I am about to begin and go into this. So for those of you that are going to be driving, or if you just don't feel like you're going to be able to receive the whole thing and you'd like to receive it in its fullness, just letting you know we are about to go into it right now. So just giving you an opportunity to step out if you would like to. But if you're like me, and you have an opportunity to receive this in its fullness, I would recommend it. Absolutely. Because I'm not going to be here for 2 hours. I do feel like this is going to be one where we go in, we receive, and we come out, and it's complete. So maybe like an hour. But I don't want to put any limitations on it. So, okay. All right. I'm just going to invite everyone to begin walking your awareness into your heart or your thymus. There's a space here, and it's unseen. It's not the organic heart. It's not the physical heart. It's not the organ. It's not what you think it is. It's just a space. Okay. The space is a space that is free. It is beyond the scene. And as I open and unlock the thyroid and the pineal, you will feel it open. Okay. So just give yourself permission to walk your awareness here and go ahead and release anything that you may be bringing with you. Any expectations of feeling. If you have thoughts that are coming, remember, you're the center, you're the eye. Just let them pass through. You don't have to fight them. Just let the words pass through. Just let them go right on. They will only distract you if you view it as a distraction. You can just let the words be background noise. You don't have to give attention to it. And we'll harness the energy of the X flare to serve and assist. Okay, opening and activating thymus. Opening and activating thyroid. Opening and activating pineal. And just feeling everything open up beautifully. The thymus also opens and unlocks the wing space. And the way that I experience these is in the center. So pineal is in the center of the head. Thymus is actually in the center of the body. It's in the center of the, so it's a central space. Same with the thyroid. It's in the center. So it's inside in the center, and it runs in a straight line. It's a very powerful line. And now beginning to feel the rotation, the movement, going in circles. And also too, give yourself permission to just be fully relaxed. You do not have to hold yourself up. Your pineal and this energy, it's going to hold you straight up. It's going to support you. So let's see, actively tuning to the X flare. Harnessing the X flare to That's beautiful. It actually shifted over to the masculine side. Okay. So we're tuning in to the orbit of the flare. And just allow yourself to harness this in a way where it's serving, supporting, transmuting, opening. And I know we kind of jumped into this, so, but I want to also remind everyone that as soon as you are aware, as soon as you give yourself into the active awareness, you're there. You're able to experience. It does not require time or space. I know sometimes people are used to moving into things and going through a process, but we can go straight into it. We don't have anything blocking us unless we have a belief. Then the belief will block us. And for those of you, again, that are choosing to be here, that are choosing to receive, I want to say thank you. I love you. I am grateful for you. Okay, let us open, activate Earth Star. Opening, activating Star, and opening, activating Soul Star. Opening Root, activating Root. Opening Sacral, activating Sacral. Opening Solar Plexus, activating Solar Plexus. Expanding Heart. Opening Throat, activating Throat. Opening Third Eye. Pineal is already activating Third Eye. And opening and activating Crown. All chakras are open and active. Opening and activating Sun Star. Sun Star relaying X-Flare. Opening, activating Cosmic Star. Opening, activating Universal Star. Oh yeah, there's a, okay. Woo. Yeah, I can sense opening through that Cosmic Star into the Universal Star. I can really feel it just, there's this connection to the root that's happening right now that's just been really, really profound in my experience. And I can really feel that. I know most people reflect it as the Kundalini, but it's actually more than the Kundalini. It's like a disc, and it's the building. I mean, the Kundalini is active, of course, but this is a building, restructuring. Now, just going to check in. Does everyone feel like they are connecting? Is everyone open and receiving? If you're not, please let me know. If you feel like you are having, beautiful, Andrea, thank you. Beautiful, thank you, Mina. Okay, thank you, beautiful. Just want to be sure, especially with the way the energies are, just want to be sure. Okay. All right. Lovely. Thank you. All right. Let's go ahead and unlock 5D. We're going to unlock the fifth dimension. And calling forward. Wonderful, Becca. Thank you. Thank you all so much. And we're calling forward the gene expressions. Now, I received quite a handful of gene expressions. And then I received also two to bring through and allow the ones that felt most aligned. So if you hear or receive something slightly different than what you hear me reflect, allow that. Allow the number that is most aligned. The majority of these are going to be the numbers that you are familiar with. It was interesting because the ones that came through, they were all reducing to the same number. So I'm going to bring through those as well as the others that step forward that are most prominent. Oh, let me open up a quantum portal. Okay, opening. Pineal, thyroid, thymus, all connecting. Okay. Okay, just allow yourself to feel, sense, and receive through this quantum opening. It may get pretty cold. That's beautiful. Thank you. Dream spirit come through. That's beautiful. So give yourself an opportunity from the opening of this quantum to just take a moment, acclimate. It's beginning the base of the feet, the thymus. It's both getting pretty intense. Okay, unlocking 5D, unlocking the fifth dimension, unlocking with sound, with tones. And downloading and receiving the keys. Receiving. Thymus is definitely undergoing some upgrades. Intense upgrades. Receiving. Expanding the thymus. And moving higher. Moving higher. Give yourself permission to begin walking higher in your awareness. You will feel yourself growing larger. My permission slip is the declaration that I'm moving higher. So moving higher. And there we go. That's assisting the thymus. Holding a higher space of awareness and a higher space of yourself is going to assist these gateways in their upgrades. Now, anchoring through the fifth dimension and calling forward now the gene expression. Gene expression 17, stepping forward. So gene expression 17, activating, unlocking, receiving. Receiving through the fifth dimension. '17, very beautiful. I sense it and feel it, feeling it coming in. Came through straight down the middle, went into the spine, anchored very beautifully into the base of the spine. And I feel the pineal responding and reflecting. The pineal expanded and opened up even a bit more. And it's very cold. I'm actually feeling it majority on my masculine side too, which energetically is reflecting what is most necessary for me. You may feel it more on your feminine side. You could feel it balanced. You're going to feel it in the way that is designed through you and by you. Calling forward the next gene expression. Okay, 27. Accepting, allowing, active gene expression 27. Receiving and anchoring through the fifth dimension. Oh wow, 27's coming in powerfully today. Woo. That was a lot of space. I feel 27 doing a little work here, so we're going to allow 27 to recreate some properties in the simulation. It's very interesting. It also hit on that space on the left side that came through. It's come through in a couple of different activations. Okay, thank you, 27. All right, calling forward the next gene expression, 47. All right, receiving active gene expression 47. Anchoring through the fifth dimension. Oh man, 47 is really, it's coming in through the heart space a little bit, but it's mostly in the pineal today. So I do feel and sense that it's an assisting point with the X flare, with the solar. Okay, calling forward the next gene expression, 72. Okay, 72 stepping forward, receiving 72, unifying, receiving through the fifth dimension. Beautiful waves. Beautiful, beautiful waves. Okay, now we will move through some encoded tones. Just allowing the gene expressions to offer. Now, I would like to harness through the pineal. We're in this space of magnetic light. So if you have been wanting to experience differently, if you are aware that you can hold a different reality, that you can magnetize more of yourself, but in a different experience, in a different way, what is it that you've really been wanting? Let us bring that through. Bring it into your awareness while you are harnessing from this space. And we will build this from the foundation of light. So just laying a few expressions here, a foundation. I am light. I am safe. I am secure. I am free. I am I am the source. That was pretty intense. And you can feel how everything is layering, how each of those are layering. Whew. And vibrating really intensely throughout the body. And now bring into your awareness whatever it is that you want. And what is it that you want that is selfless, right? That's not that's selfish, and that's not selfish, but selfless. What is it that you want that is here to support you in the experience of your reality? Maybe it's a little more money. Maybe it's a little bit more abundance. Maybe it's a vehicle. Maybe it's a house. Now, of course, this isn't going to create some miracle. Everything internally is operating by your design. But I do feel that we can harness, if we focus the energy in that way. So I just want to place this here as we prepare to move into the expressions of the tones. Just place it in your awareness. And we'll let the universe and the higher self, as the higher self, for this is where we're operating, integrate into the design and magnetize. And this is also, you know, for me, this is just a little fun. It's just to see, okay, how will this operate in this way, right? Just giving it a try, just seeing how this performs energetically, which is always fun. All right. Moving higher. Opening the gateways of the nervous system, opening the gateways of the blood. and calling into the awareness, the keys, unlocking higher packets of information for the simulation through the fifth dimension. Calling this forward and also allowing discovery. What is here to be discovered? So going to bring through the tones. And receiving. Ooh, that one's interesting. I felt the sensation of fire in my chest, but I also felt cold. And then all around me, just sensing myself as being extremely light. But the way and the reflection of it is it's always very interesting. I love discovering how the reflection of the sound moves. Feeling guided to connect into a star group as well. Sirius, calling Sirius forward in the gateway of Sirius through sixth dimension. Okay, connecting in, unlocking sixth dimension. And requesting, receiving the keys, the tones. Beep, oh, beep, oh, beep, oh. Grrr, 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 ah, grrr, grrr, ah, eh. Receiving. That's a powerful one. About lifted me up off my seat. Downloading the design into the cells. Oh, wow, you can really, ooh, you can feel it coming in. Downloading into the cells. That was a beautiful and powerful line. Let's see, calling forward anything that's present from the cosmic fifth dimension that is here to assist us in breaking through. So tuning in and also moving higher in the awareness. So moving higher. It's very interesting. I'm hearing platinum. Platinum design. Okay, receiving platinum design. And I do sense and feel the properties of this are slightly different than the molecular composition that we're aware of. Wow, it just got really cold. Holy crap. I mean, I was feeling the heat from, I can't even feel the heat from the heater right now. I can't feel the heater at all. Wow. Okay, we're receiving and downloading the design. It's very interesting. I feel very weightless, but from shoulder to shoulder, my core, my central area feels very leaden. So what is this unlocking? What is this unlocking for us on a cellular design level, on a cellular simulated level? Harnessing greater light. Redesign. Anchoring a new quantum formula, if you will. Oh yeah, now it's opening that space up. That's beautiful. I still feel it moving through and integrating, which is why I'm taking a moment here. And it just keeps getting stronger. Again, it's just so very interesting how I can't really feel the heater. I mean, I can feel it, but it's like this, everything that's in the center, and it's not uncomfortably cold, but it's again, it's like this gel like platinum. It's like liquid platinum, I guess you would say. So, very interesting how that experience is coming through. Um, okay. So in the final wave of this, I'm feeling guided to connect into each one of the gene expressions once more and express some tones, which are what I feel is going to open and unlock the nervous system. Okay. Yeah, and pulling this platinum design up into the nervous system and relaying it. So calling for the gene expressions that are most I guess in the highest support of this, the ones that are most active in this. 27. Okay. Calling forward gene expression 27. And calling forward the template, the codes, the information. And harnessing this through fifth dimension. Unlocking the expression of the genes through the hormones. Ooh, I just got chills. I don't normally get chills. A little bit of nausea. Ooh, okay, there's a lot happening here. Okay. Unlocking a higher hormonal experience, a higher simulated experience. Calling forward the keys in connection with gene expression 27. All right, let's go to work. In connection with gene expression 27, inheriting the platinum design into the nervous system. That one was really active in the cranial area. There we go. I had to clear a few of the cobwebs there before that one came out. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. That first expression was really heavy on the masculine. The second expression came through on the feminine. It's very interesting too, is the second one, as I opened it up a little bit, they felt broader. It's very beautiful. And anchoring and harnessing through the gateway of Sirius and the platinum design. Do one final wave here. First, let us download into the cells, downloading. Downloading. Oh, wow, that's a big space. Goodness gracious. Wow. It's about to lift me up off my seat. Goodness gracious. Well, that's a big rocking back and forth there. Okay, see what am I tuning into? What is that? Orion, constellation Orion. Okay, receiving through Orion. Okay. All right, pineal. Receiving through Orion. Goodness gracious. Okay, bringing it in, downloading it, bringing it in, bringing it in, bringing it in. It's like I could make this stop, but I could make myself sit still. But it's actually, if you just let yourself go, it's pretty interesting. It's always really fun to see. Because I am doing this, if you will, but it's the power of the connection. It's the pineal tapping into this. So, okay. Let me pull it into the thymus a bit. Thyroid. Okay, Orion. Orion showing up. What is here for us with the connection to Orion? So we're downloading into the cells. Higher simulation. Higher quantum. Thank you, Orion. Okay. It's centralizing now. A bit more. Okay, downloading, pulling it in. Pulling it in. Downloading into the cells. Time sweepers is what I'm hearing. Time sweepers. So I feel there's definitely some cleanup happening. Yep, plugging in through the thymus, plugging in through the wing space. It's plugging in right now. Whew, that's intense. This is a higher quantum accessibility, opening higher gateways of time. And of course, we understand time as being a perception through us. So it's opening that perception up. And it's interesting, what I heard at the very beginning was a higher active love and a higher active righteousness, active love. It's beautiful to feel how that's moving once it plugs in, and it's moving around the crown and third eye, but it's coming up from the wing space. So really grateful that Orion stepped forward, time sweepers. It's very interesting. I've never received that terminology in that way before, time sweepers. And I mentioned cobwebs a minute ago, which is interesting. So, of course, everything is transmitting through my perception, my belief, or, my energy in this way. So that makes sense. Very beautiful. So we connect into, our cells are always recognizing, you can think of Orion time sweepers, right? I love it. So, our cells are little keepers of time. Even though we are moving moment to moment in our perception, our awareness, our cells are little keepers. They are keeping time, if you will. And they hold, it's very similar to our subconscious holding all the information in terms of the libraries of everything we've ever thought. The way that the cells are holding time, keepers of time, the way that I sense it is like the nucleus is it's the infinite capacity of a star in the nucleus. And cells are holding information and they can connect to the stars. Like right now, our cells connected into Orion. So the nucleus of the cell is connecting to the nucleus, if you will, of Orion. Just like our thyroid and our thymus and our pineal operate beyond the seen, so do our cells, because they're not just the organic module that we see. They operate energetically beyond that. And I do feel like they're little time capsules. And so we have come to this point of our own understanding, and we can trace all of us through that capsule. So our vehicle holds the information of us through all points of time. And of course, we can leave the vehicle at any time through our cord of consciousness, but this is our vehicle, it's our vessel, right? And so Orion is communicating just like Sirius communicating. And transmitting into those time capsules and relaying information. And you can feel it. Oh, it's actually going really deep into the stomach area, right where that root sacral is. Again, very interesting because there's a lot happening. We have been a root species. And as we're building and as we're rising, our root is taking on a different dynamic. And I'm reflecting what I'm experiencing it as I'm experiencing it. Wow, that's really powerful. Oh, wow. And there's that really solid, it's like sitting in a magnetic chalice. And I'm just moving in in like little circles. But my base, my magnetic base is really, it's holding me there energetically. That's really beautiful to feel how that chalice is holding us. So I'm sure some people are, okay, so what is this transmitting? What is Orion? What is Sirius? What is the transmission point? Redirection, recreation, higher simulation, restructuring, support. Yep, I feel that. All of this I feel absolutely coming in. Redefining the structure. And you can feel that. Again, I've had very active masculine feel, which is actually in my shoulder right here is where I've had a lot of imbalance in my simulation, where I've had quote unquote injuries prior, and I can actually feel levels mending. Now, I want to share a few things really quickly. What I find very interesting as we're in this space, I feel the mending, I feel the reconstruction, I am experiencing it fully. When I step back into again, when we go do things, and we're very active and eyes open, co-creating in a slightly different way. The experience comes through where I have an opportunity to feel it again as pain, as imbalance. Because my activity, everything in the simulation can only relay what is most readily available. And if that is most readily available, if the space of imbalance is more readily available, then that's what's going to be relayed. Now, of course, when we step in, we go into that space. This is also why people do like affirmations and, because it's pulling from the subconscious in recreating in the moment a different perception of the self. So in this space, we have an opportunity to really feel how everything is integrating from a quantum space. And then if you take that and you go into your day to day and you actually incorporate and harness it by speaking that, using your words as the power that harnesses that. So speaking about it from, accepting and acknowledging any negative space, but speaking of it from the positive space. So using the negative space as something that you accept and allow, but maybe isn't the space that you want to be in all the time. You don't want to also want to, you don't want to get attached to the positive space either. We're just simply looking for balance. But in order to balance it, it's going to require some positive space coming in. And then once you regain the balance, then you maintain the balance. Yes. Repurposing. Yes. Absolutely. That's exact. Repurposing. Absolutely. Root to wing space to thyroid. And it's like there was that, my goodness, Orion was massive in its, like when I connected in, it was massive. It was huge. So there's, again, this rebuilding. Now, with rebuilding, with repurposing, means anything, it's sweeping. So anything that's under the rug is going to come up. Okay? Anything that's been hidden is going to come up. So anything that maybe you haven't been looking into, it's going to come forward. And what I find very interesting is that it's not that we have a lot of shadow work to do. It's that we stay so busy doing things that we aren't holding ourselves in an awareness of how we are operating between light and shadow in every moment. Because in every moment, we can accept and acknowledge how we are operating through shadow and through light. But normally, we're busy doing, right? We're actively busy. But if we harness our busyness in a way where we say, okay, I can be doing things, but I can be aware of my thoughts, my emotions, and how I'm interacting with the space of doing, then it repurposes the moment as well. Now, as we're coming out of this, I'm coming out of this like slight hibernation, I'm feeling just like a jolt of electricity. So I also want to celebrate going into the shadow space and being is inactive, if you will. I was gaining some fuel there. So when I come back into the light, there's a lot that's going to come through. And I knew this week is a very active week for me. So there's a lot coming through. So the space that was made was necessary. Everything got pushed out for me this weekend to make space. The reason why was that so I could learn how to balance myself in that space and not go too deep in wanting to stay there. but how to honor it without feeling guilty for being there to begin with. Because everything happens by design. You know, it was really cold here. It was really cold for a reason. Since I come out here and I provide all my lives in this space, I have a heater, but it's also, the temperatures out there are sub-zero. It's sub-zero in here. So I wasn't necessarily able to bring anything through this weekend, the last like handful of days. Repurposing the time, repurposing the space, pushing everything out so that I could be and gather, regenerate, rejuvenate, and now take that, move forward, create with it. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not in motion when I'm in that space, because I am. But I'm also learning how to be in motion from a higher space as well. So I share this with each of you because I'm sure everyone can relate to that in some way. If you feel like going into a space of hibernation, it's for a reason. That means you got a lot. You got a lot that's already come in. You're integrating it, and you got a lot that's about to go out. But if you're always going, if you're always doing, then you might not be as aware of that type of cycled energy, and your cycles will also be shifting. A lot of people cycle based on, right, the solstice, moons, stuff like that. This is different for me. I don't base any, I'm sure it's energetically at play to some degree, but for me, it's simply what is here now. Not necessarily the seasonal cycle or the planet, because the planetary cycle is also different now. It's not necessarily based in the calendar anymore. We have to remember that calendar is moving out. The time is moving out. How we've cycled energy is moving out. And we are the ones that are holding the space for the cycle, which is different. So I would like to just call some of this up from the root. Oh, that's intense. Calling it up. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Vibrationally, what I'm seeing from in the pineal is there's it's bright. I can see it, but it's very subtle. In the center, it looks like a hexagon, and then there's lines going out at the top, lines going out at the bottom, and there's a circle around it. It's a very specific design, this structure. Okay, calling it up some more. Yeah, and then it's got a top point and then two bottom points, like petals, like 2 feet, and then something straight in the middle like the pineal. And I'm also seeing little dots. But again, this is a pineal, so it's just reflecting the play on light and shadow. So it's not like an image. It's just, it's reflecting to me the inflection of light and sound and the vibrational differentiation between the two. So calling this up. And calling in the active Orion and Sirius information. No wonder it's showing up in that way. Wow, it's running down into both feet. And then it comes up into the chest, and I can feel it. It's like in the wing space. It feels like I've got wings. So it's like pushing me forward, like I'm going to take flight. Wow. Yeah, the design is directly reflective, obviously, of the energy. And then, of course, the pineal is right here in the central space. So I'm hearing a redefine, not, I don't want to say it's not redefining gravity, but it's redefining our relationship with gravity. Yeah, it's redefining our relationship with gravity. And there, the heart's opening. Wow, that's very beautiful. That's very beautiful. So, I can definitely, okay, so I can definitely feel and sense and experience as I just reflected how this, if you will, this design, this structure is energetically moving, how it's representing itself. Now, oh, yeah, lots of pressure in the head now. Um, being pulled up. I also just heard stuff dropping on the roof. And this line, it's coming from above, but it also feels like it's intersecting across the chest in a very interesting way. Shifting is shifting my point of symmetry. Yeah. Okay, so this information, what's taking place here? So I'm going to relay a few things here, and then we'll go ahead and close it out. Hang on. It's coming in behind my eyes. Okay, so this repurposing, what is taking place, this restructuring, is our cells are relaying a new foundational signature. They're speaking differently. Hello and welcome. So grateful that you're here receiving. So grateful. Welcome from India. So grateful to always have everyone here. So the cells are speaking differently. They're speaking from this place of transmitting. And you know, we've gone through this process of rediscovering who we are through time, past lives and such. But what I feel is here for us now is moving forward from this space of discovery, where we have an opportunity in every moment to understand who we are through time by being present in time. So dialing in, what is being transmitted from moment to moment here? What is the signature structure? It's refining time, okay? As we're moving out of a 3D perception into a 4D perception of time, man, that pressure is getting intense. As we're moving out of a 3D perception into a 4D perception, we begin to see things and experience things without the need to hold ourselves in time. So when we begin to give ourselves the freedom of moving from moment to moment, our cells can actually begin transmitting that freedom. It's relayed through our entire system. We are no longer held captive by the belief. I'm no longer held captive by what I believed, 10 minutes ago, because now I'm having a new realization, a new discovery. And so therefore I'm free and I'm moving. And so long as we continue to move and we can see ourselves infinitely without needing the past, without needing the future, but being fully present, without needing to attach ourselves to what we were in the past, without needing to project ourselves into what we think we need in the future, but being here right now in the present, we can receive what is being transmitted and we can experience it fully. So, redesigning time. Just take a moment and feel that. Redesigning. Greater sense of freedom. Not being held captive by the calendar, by the clock, but by allowing these to reflect to you how you are free, right? Where you show up moment to moment. And it's not a disrespect to anyone else. It's energetically, that's just energetically the way everything is moving. We've been held so captive by time. We feel like, well, if I'm here right now, you should be right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm here and I'm available, then you should be available. Or if someone believes, well, I'm here, then you should be. You see what I'm saying? We hold ourselves captive. Yeah, the new energetic skeleton. Beautiful. Absolutely. So it's restructuring itself in a way where we can show up in the moment. And if we show up together, great. If we don't show up together, oh, we weren't supposed to meet in that moment anyways. Instead of forcing us to come together. Like today, I had asked my group, I really wasn't for sure if I was going to be bringing a live through. I'd asked like a day or so ago, just determining, feeling. But I had a sense that I knew something was coming through today. I didn't know if it was a one-on-one. That was an option. That didn't come through. So I felt there's energetically a space here for us to come together. And I'm coming together with someone. I don't know who it is. And so this is what was born of this, is that just showing up and we come together, we receive and we experience. But you don't hold a specification to it. Now, I am feeling a lot of pressure in the head. And the third eye has also been a very present space of transmission, which means even though the pineal is in the center, what's happening with the third eye is relaying the information. Because, so much opening as I'm saying this. I might burp, apologies. Excuse me. The third eye is relaying. It's relaying the simulation. So your eyes are projecting, but what I sense is that the third eye is relaying from the pineal. It's feeding into the simulated experience, and the eyes just are a part of that, and they just project it, right? So you have the pineal feeding in, the third eye is transmitting it at the degree that we are able to receive it, because we are still kind of in a smaller capacity as we shift into the different dimensions. So as we shift into the different dimensions, we are able to not only receive more, but perceive more and project more. So this information is coming through. So your eyes, it's interesting because your eyes are still projecting. It's still seeing a tree the same way. It's still seeing the people in the same way, but is it? The tree still looks the same, but you can sense the information of the connection differently. Just like with the people that you connect to, because the people in your reality are not, there's nobody that actually shows up in your reality. It's just you. It's just you. You're connecting with the images of the people. However, the information that's being relayed through the third eye is transmitting a more powerful connection that you hold through the mirror of you and the mirror of them. because they exist in their own reality. You know, you can, just like looking in the mirror, a mirror is a gateway, you can look at another person as a gateway. You're either going to see what you think they are, or you're going to see who they really are. If you see, if you just look for what you like and what you don't like, then you're only seeing the image. But if you look at the person, you can see them as a mirror of you based on what you like and what you don't like, but you can also see beyond that into who they are. You can't know exactly who they are because that's not your job. They are who they are, but they're not supposed to show up. Well, they do show up based on what you like and what you don't like. That's how the image shows up in your reality. They're mirrors. They're gateways. Everyone is a gateway of the self. So this is why different selves rotate in and out based on where we are, where we believe, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and everyone's there to reflect back to us. So when we hold too closely to these connections, we also hold ourselves frozen because we really love what we see, right? We love that image of ourselves. We really need that image. But that also holds us captive. We don't move through time because we're not willing to move beyond what we want, what we feel like we have to have. So allow yourself to allow yourself to honor your friends, your coworkers, your parents, and everyone as a mirror, not as something that you need or that you have to have, because then you yourself remain trapped energetically. You're not actually able to move beyond your 3D perception. And your 3D perception is not, it's just going to see what it wants to see. And it doesn't really want to change. It likes things the way that it is. And so then you're not allowing a different dimensional space to move in. And fourth dimension is what I feel is time. I feel fourth dimension is time. I feel like we've been an illusion of time. Fourth dimension is time. It's real time, if you will. So you have an opportunity to let yourself go from this 3D space of perceiving and receiving to move into the 4D, where you're not trapped by time, you're not trapped by the people, but you're able to move freely through time into 5D. But that's the test of 4D, is to see, will you move out? Now, it doesn't mean just as you're moving out of 3D, I want to just remind everyone, it's not subjective, it's not objective. Everything is here right now. Okay? It's not that you go somewhere else, but you're just energetically showing up in a different way. Okay? So, when you're energetically showing up more through 4D, you're energetically showing up more through time instead of being frozen by the 3D. The people, the places, the things that you think you need, the distractions that you think are necessary, the controlling of the outcome, the going and doing the same things in the same way that you always do because it's a habit. So as I believe Joe Dispenza said, you break the habit of being yourself, and that's necessary. I believe that's a book or something that he wrote. That's right there. It's coming in because it's a beautiful statement. You break the habit of being yourself. But if you don't break the habit of being yourself, then you never actually move into time. You're still bound by your belief. Ah, thank you, beautiful one. Thank you. It truly is. It is like a therapy session. It allows you to come in and experience and just be in the moment, suspending yourself through time and not having to rush and go and do and feeling like you have to leave this to go do something else because everything is here right now. But all of this is simply reflecting one of the things that's been very much in my awareness is how we are experiencing time and our perception of time, how our body relays, how our vehicle relays time, how our cells transmit time. Now, if your version of time is showing up on time, committing to a schedule, if you are habitual, you are stuck in the illusion of time. You are not free. It's not about making something work so that you can show up. You never have to show up. You already exist. You're already there. You're just reflecting on where you already are. That's it. You don't have to show up anywhere. Everything is here right now, and it's consistently moving through the presence of now. You don't have anywhere to go. You don't have anything to do. You don't have anywhere to be. You just are present, and everything is moving through right here, right now. But see, when you break away from right now and you go do all the things, then you're like, oh, well, I need this, and I need this, and I need this, and I need to go do that, and I need to have this, and I need to experience this, because it's important for me to understand myself, because so I go and I do these things so I can see myself better, which is a beautiful thing. It's still a truth, absolutely. But we can also be present right here, right now, and the same things are moving through. You're the eye of the storm, which means it's all here right now. But it's fun to go and do, and it's fun to go experience. The key is that none of it matters. None of it matters. If you make it matter, then you're giving it, you're basically worshiping it. It's like, oh, well, I have to have that. I have to have it. You're giving more. You're giving more instead of being in the space where you receive and you give at the same time, which is what happens right here, right now, is that you're giving and you're receiving. You're giving and you're receiving. Because you're aware of yourself, which means when you're aware of yourself, you're transmitting what you're aware of. So you're transmitting, you're giving. And you get to receive more of yourself. Once you're aware of yourself, you can receive more and transmit more. It's all here right now. So even just stepping into the space of offering and going through this experience by design, it's just what's here. What are we aware of? What are we aware of? Allowing us to experience what we're aware of, which is a really beautiful thing. And your cells are transmitting what you're aware of, and they're also transmitting more than what you're aware of. So as you move and you go and you do, you're going to be more you're going to have an opportunity, if you allow it, to be aware of the information your cells are transmitting. So the vehicle is now restructured. It's redesigned, as it is every single time we step into this. So it's more easily able to move through the freedom of time and not be captive. And if you feel yourself frozen, if you have some things that keep showing up that have shown up before, something to be aware of, any pains, any discomforts, check in with yourself, see what do you believe? What are you projecting? Because that's what's showing up. Thank you, beautiful Andrea. Thank you. Thank you all. I'm so grateful to share in this experience with each of you. So as we bring this moment to a close here in just a moment, please, please, please be aware of how you're moving through time. That's your perception. Welcome. Hello, Victor. Welcome from Germany. So just being aware of your perception, moment to moment. How are you perceiving yourself? How are you perceiving others? Are you holding yourself captive? Or are you allowing some of that information that's transmitting from your cells, that's transmitting itself? Are you allowing yourself to become more aware of that? Or are you held captive in these beliefs that you continue to operate from, these habits that are holding you captive? If the habits are holding you captive, then you're not receiving this information that's being, it's not that you're not receiving it, you're just not aware of it. So my invitation is for everyone to free themselves up from time so that you can move more freely through time. Shake things up. You don't have to do the same things all the time in the same way. I understand if you have a job that's a little different. But you can bring a little bit of timelessness, as I say, into the illusion of time, where, if you don't have to hold yourself in this space of, oh, I have to get up early and I have to go to bed early. No, you get to, if you want to. You get to wake up early if you want to. You get to go to bed early if you want to. You get to go to bed late if you want to. You get to, but you don't have to. That's a one way to free yourself. Changing how you perceive and how you think. That frees you through time. And also, too, your perception of time. Those of you in my group are very aware that I show up in the moment based on the moment. Sometimes it might be earlier, sometimes it might be later. But energetically, we're coming together exactly when we're meant to. And when I've had to restructure my schedule, like my one-on-ones this past weekend, because I was meant to be in a space of receiving myself. I was meant to be in a space of cocooning. I was not meant to be stepping into those one-on-ones. And so it was extremely cold here. I couldn't, it was sub-zero. So shifting that out, I was able to see, man, I was feeling guilty about that. But at the same time, I knew it was all happening to serve the space that I was meant to be in. And it also gave me an opportunity to learn how to move into that freely and how to move out of it freely. Because today was me moving out of it freely. So I could have stayed in it. I could have not brought this through. But I gave myself the permission slip that was necessary to be able to close that out and move into this. So thank you. Thank you. So thank you all for being here and receiving. Please give yourself the permission slip. Move freely through time. Give yourself an opportunity to love and respect the 3D perception, but to shift into the 4D, which is allowing time, not controlling time. Because we're all conditioned to see and believe and understand time through the illusion of time. Remember, that's not real time. It's not real time. It's not real. The clock, the schedule, all the things, it's not real. It's not real. You have to remember that. So please, loves, I love you guys. Love you, Becca. Thank you, Greg. Love you guys. Love everyone here. Thank you for receiving. Thank you for being present. I look forward to joining you guys again soon. This week is a very active and busy week, so probably the majority of this will be coming through from my group space. However, I look forward to bringing through a collective live again soon. If anyone is interested, it's okay. Yep, I'm wrapping, Louise, but I'm so grateful to see you here, my love. I look forward to you receiving the replay. My one-on-ones are still open if anyone is interested. My first available is probably going to be the end of this month at this point. So just I will drop that information into the description per usual if anyone is interested. And thank you. All right, love you guys. Look forward to seeing you next time. Until then. I don't know.